Will you please welcome Anita Wise?
Thank you so much. Oh man, we've been looking forward to this for so long, and it's finally here. I'm glad that you all came out, because we really all need this. It's been a rough road. We've been down with this COVID and everything else. I think what happened is, we're coping. I should speak for me. I'm coping, but I just realized my veneer of not crazy is pretty thin. I'm kind of crazy adjacent at this point, I think, and just fronting that everything is okay. But what that was revealed to me recently, an incident that happened, you might be able to relate. I had a doctor's appointment, which was different for a number of reasons. One, I had to get dressed. Two, I had somewhere to go. I had to be there by a certain time. I mean, this was all kind of, oh, right, I remember. And then the fourth thing was I had to find parking, which, in the lockdown, if you went anywhere, you could park. So I'm at the doctor's, it's a medical practice, big, and the lots are completely full, and me and a few other desperate people are just cruising up and down, just stalking other people, hoping they'll get in and leave, and finally I got a break. I saw a lady right up front, she got in, I'm sitting there with my turn signal, I'm like, it's good, everything's all right now. So she's checking Facebook or whatever. Finally she backs out, and there is a window of vulnerability where I am blocked and my space is open, and sure enough, here comes this little sports car zinging around the corner, snakes my spot. Instant road rage, or in this case, parking lot rage. All of a sudden, this bile, like The Exorcist, I'm suddenly like, you motherfuckers! And I was like, oh my God, where did that come from? That felt horrible. Yoga breathing, motherfucker. It's like, oh my God. It shook me up, that I was like that close to rage. So finally I did find a spot in Ohio, and I'm hoofing it to the doctor, and I'm trying to, move on. But I passed the little sports car, and bam, I'm right there in that so pissed off place. I'm like, and I thought, you know what? I did nothing wrong. I'm gonna leave this guy a note. I'm gonna leave this stress right here, right now. I'm gonna tell him what I thought about what he did. What do I say? No justice, no peace, That's not very specific. Don't start no shit, won't be no shit. And I thought, we don't know what he's going through. We're all going through something. Be kind. And that's when I thought, that's what I'm going to write. I'm going to remind him of the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. That's kind, right? So I left the note on his car. I didn't have a pen. I just used my key. But I felt better, see? Yeah. Felt a lot better. Got a release, because it's not easy. I mean, it's hard on everybody, I got to a certain point during the lockdown. I was living alone, and I was just like having a hard time. It was just like, when is this going to end? What's going to happen? And I thought maybe I just need like an online counselor or something. And I don't know if you've ever looked for a therapist online. It's pretty daunting. There's tons of them. They all specialize. You don't know who's good, who takes insurance. It's like, forget it, It's schizophrenia, drug addiction, anger management. Oh my God, I just have low self-esteem. My problems aren't good enough. I'm gonna have to work this out myself. I took online yoga classes to try to relax. Anybody else? Online yoga? Yeah, a couple people. I actually prefer it to the studio, I found out, because I'm more of a Zumba girl. I like noise and hopping around, and like nobody can pay attention to me. In the yoga studio, it's very, very quiet. And if anybody's body makes any kind of noise, everybody hears it. It's not relaxing. Plus, they put you in all these really undignified poses. You're there with your butt sticking up, or you're lying on your back, hanging onto your ankles with your legs spread apart, rocking. That's called Happy Baby. It is. It looks more like Happy Husband, but you know. I didn't name it. And it was hard for me being in the yoga studio because my body cracks a lot, and you could hear it, you know, it's so quiet. I move my neck, it cracks, or my elbow, my back. And I don't care, really. I make money on the side as an exotic dancer for the visually impaired. Everybody's got a side hustle, right? So it was good. I'm finally losing some of my COVID weight. I'm excited about that. I got into my skinny jeans the other day. Some of you know what those are. They're jeans that live in your closet that you bought one day in a fit of completely unfounded optimism. I got mine after a 5-day stomach flu. Looking down at the scale. Oh, wow. I'll never gain this weight again. Then I had a drink of water and so I got the zipper up, and that was pretty exciting. I couldn't breathe. You know. Skin above it looks like I'm smuggling a Shar-Pei puppy, but you know, it's all this. Thank heaven for fall and sweaters, right? Yeah, so it's coming along. It's good. But yeah, the lockdown was hard. It was hard on relationships. And like I said, I was alone for several months before my housemate moved in. And this actually happened. I don't remember what provoked it, but there came a day when I was looking in the mirror and I said, you know, you're an asshole. We're good now. The makeup sex was great. Yeah, there was a lot of that going on during the lockdown. Everybody got pretty good at taking care of themselves. I don't even want to say the word. It's like one of the things that happened during COVID was we had Zoom and comedy shows, where, you know, you're doing your comedy to a screen with like tiny people like 20 feet away on their sofa. It's like there's nobody there. You can't hear them, you can't see them. And I got bold and began to do material I didn't normally do. And I was talking about this practice, and I have a hard time talking about it. I thought, well, why is that? It's just a bodily function, you know? We've got respiration, digestion, circulation. Oh, right. I'm going to say it. Masturbation. I don't even like to say it. But it's, you know, I thought, why is that? And I blame religion, actually, because in some religions, it's actually a sin. Yeah. They call it self-abuse. That's something. Oh, seriously. I think that must be a transcription error. Some medieval scribe was there with this quill, and it got a little bent or something, and he meant to write self-amuse. And now we're all paying the price. I think really, if you really think it is self-abuse, you're probably doing it wrong. Turn the hairbrush the other way. That's just a thought. I think that's why the T-Rex was so mad all the time. He's like, ugh. He couldn't reach. Ugh. Oh my goodness. So, but I did have some great experiences during COVID, things that would not have normally happened. I grew up in Philadelphia, Center City, and thank you. And I live, you know, in a more rural area now. But I have friends who have a farm, and this is so exciting for me because it's a glimpse into a world I don't really know. They have grass-fed beef, and a few times a year they take all the cattle one by one and check them and give them their new shots or whatever. And they were so short-handed during COVID because it takes a bunch of people to do this. They asked me. So I was like, yeah, okay, sure. So next thing you know, I'm in a field with like 50 head of cattle, and we're hollering, and they're getting moved up, and I'm like, this is fantastic. I can't believe I'm here. And all of a sudden, about a dozen of them peel off and start galloping back down the hill, right towards me. And I'm like, oh my God. And I didn't know what to do. I just stood there, but I was not afraid because I've been heckled in Queens, so I'm kind of more bring it, you know. Nothing happened, they just went around, but we finally got them all up where they were supposed to be, and we're checking them one by one. You put them in this metal stall that keeps them safe and keeps everybody safe, and it's going fine, checking ear tags and changing them out. It was very fascinating. And then they got one that they had bred a while ago, and they were curious if she was pregnant, so they said, would you like to do a preg check? I said, yeah. I would like to feel the cow's belly and see if I can find a calf. Nah. They hand me a little plastic glove. It's not your little everyday COVID prevention plastic glove. No, this is a formal, full-length evening plastic glove. I've never seen one like this before. And I'm like, all right, okay. And then I remembered, yes, of course, you check pregnancy with a urine test. This is to protect my clothing. I'm going to hold a stick or something. I don't know how it's going to work. And they said, stick out your hand. And they squirted this stuff in my hand and said, lube up. When you hear lube up, something is going to happen to somebody. So I'm getting the idea now, and we go towards the back end of the cow. Somebody moves her tail out of the way, and I'm there with my little handful of whatever. And and I start to head for, I mean, I've never seen the back end of a cow up so close, but the geography was familiar, okay? So I start heading for where I hope no man has gone before, you know? I don't know what the medical veterinary term is, her bovina, or I don't know. So I start heading for that, and they're like, no, not there. I'm like, what you mean not there? Isn't that where the calf comes out? And they're like, yeah, but that's not where you're going. You're going in under the tail. So now I'm scared, okay? Because I don't know about you. Anybody comes unsolicited at my back door, there's a commotion, okay? What is going to happen? At this point, the cow looks back, you know. She can't really turn her head because she's in this thing. And I'm trying to make nice, like, nice lashes. You know, just... Anyway, I couldn't delay it any longer. I started my entry, and the first thing I can report is it's quite toasty in there. If you are ever freezing to death in a cow field, I know where you can warm your hands, okay? So I'm going and I'm going. All of a sudden, this wicked gripping happens on my arm, you know, and begins to propel me back, kind of like a boa constrictor vomiting or something. And it's like going back and back. And I said, it wants me to leave. And they said, nah, that's normal, that's peristaltic action, keep going. So I kept going and going and going and going, and finally, folks, I'm pit deep in here, okay? They said, good, okay, go down. There's a down? I couldn't believe it. I was like, sometimes in life you have that outer voice, you know, looking at you going, I don't believe you're doing this. I didn't either, so I did go down, and they said, do you feel anything? I said, yeah, there's something hard here. Very bad digestive issue, possibly, or a calf? And they're like, it's a calf, come on out. So I did come out. I'll spare you those gory details. But it's another life experience. It kind of increased my confidence, especially sexually. I feel pretty much ready for anything now. You look horrified, ma'am. Okay. I kept a glove. Oh, goodness. Yeah, so I'm starting to adapt to this the way it is now. I joined, I got used to like the fact that you can't go anywhere. It's not very convenient anymore. Well, it's getting to be, but I signed up for online dating for seniors. It's called Brittle. Because I'm a baby boomer, you know, and our generation, we're facing challenges our parents never did, you know, like when your dealer dies. Yeah, didn't expect that, right? So, yeah, and it's an interesting time of life because, you know, once you become an adult, you coast for a long time. You're pretty much the same, like 30s, 40s, 50s. You know, in your 20s, your body type is kind of mid-century modern, you know, a lot of clean lines, smooth surfaces. By the time you hit your 50s, it's more shabby chic, more upholstered, distressed surfaces, you know, but comfy. But when you hit your 60s, then it's sort of like puberty again. Maybe this is why they call it second childhood. But your body begins to grow things that were not previously there. It's not nearly as cool as going through adolescence, you know. When you're a kid, you look down one day, you've got little marshmallows on your chest, going, oh, my breasts are coming in, it's starting. You're all shiny and new. Look, but don't touch. Now it's touch, just don't look. I started to get little things on my neck sprouting, and my dermatologist said, don't worry about those. Those are just skin tags. You get them from friction from your clothing or your jewelry. Great. Now I'm pilling. I lost a ½ inch in height. Not sure where that went, but pretty sure it came out of my neck. A lot of extra neck lately. I'm serious. I look down, it's like a small scrotum is forming on my cloud. I'm not really enjoying that. I thought, why do we have to have this, you know? And then I went to a friend's house whose kid has a gerbil. You know, those little rodents that store food? That's when I realized it's for storing snacky treats. Oh, goodness. Well, I try to look on the bright side. I'm like, what's good about this? And I did find one thing. I found that if I go like this, I look like Mitch McConnell. So there's that. Oh, gosh. So it's interesting dating at this age because, you know, we don't all look as good as we used to, and it's kind of hard. You have to kind of grade on a curve. The curve is generally in the abdominal area. But I had no idea on the dating site that there were so very many eligible single men my age that completely repulsed me. But I'm seeing somebody now, and it's going pretty good, I think. I mean, he didn't say, I love you, or anything like that, no. But he did say, you scare the fucking shit out of me. Close enough. Yeah, you just have to adapt later. You know, for dating older men, it's not quite the same. Like, I've had to change up some lines that I used to use to great effect in the past, and now, you know, it just doesn't resonate the same way. I said to him, I'm not wearing any underwear. He thought I forgot. Do we have to go back? No, we don't. So I'm gonna leave you with just this dating tip that I learned the hard way. Sometimes you do need to use contraception. I mean, not contraception, I don't mean that. Like, that's a terrible thought, me becoming pregnant. Oh my God, that baby be born, he'd already be 38, you know? No, what I'm talking about is like novelty condoms. Be careful with those, okay? Because like they have glow-in-the-dark ones that really work. When the lights are out, all of a sudden your man becomes Luke Skywalker with a lightsaber. It's all fun and games, unless you have a cat. Thank you so much, guys.
Wasn't that wonderful? Give it up for Anita Wise.